Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Thursday, the 19th of August, 2021. Time is 8:31 here in the UK. You're looking at an AUDUSD daily chart, and today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups across all these pairs, but we're also going to be discussing yesterday's potential setups, these ones here, and some trades that we're already in. So let's dive right into the analysis. AUDUSD to kick things off, guys. Now, I've been short on AUDUSD for a month, just waiting for this to happen. Waiting for this move down that's happened here to happen. I've been saying for a while now, I think AUDUSD is heading down. I think we're going to see some USD strength, some Aussie dollar weakness. Happened a lot slower than I predicted, but it's finally happening, so we're in some nice profit on this one so far. So right now, floating at about 1.57 R. For those of you who don't know what R means, it's just whatever your stop loss is, your current R, or risk, it's basically your risk to reward ratio, right? So let's say I have 100 pip stop loss. If I'm 157 pips up, that's 1.57 R. I don't know what the stop loss is on this one in pips. It's probably, let's just see. Oh wow, why is this tool not working? Oh, it's almost exactly 100 pips. It's 108 pips. So right now we're 1.57 R. So 1.57 multiplied by 108. That's how many pips we're up right now. Traders like to work in R multiples to define their risk to reward ratios and to define profit on trades, because pips are an inconsistent unit of measurement. One pip varies in its worth. A pip can be worth anything really, and it changes trade by trade. Anyway, let's not get too off track on what R multiples are. Look them up if you're interested. We're up 1.5 R right now, 1.57 R to be precise, on AUDUSD. So we'll let this one run. I think this is a long-term trade. I'm looking for the Aussie dollar to get to at least 70 cents versus the US dollar, but also even lower, to be honest. So we'll just let this play out, see how it goes. It was a long-term trade getting in. I wasn't planning on it being this long-term, but hey, is what it is. The swap isn't too bad, so fees aren't that bad. USD JPY, guys. I'm not in this one personally, but some of you guys are in this one. I shared it, but it turned around too fast for me to get in. I know some of you guys entered on the 12-hour, and it's going pretty well. You're in profit. It did pull back a little bit overall, but it's going pretty well. Not quite at that 2-hour mark yet, depending on where you had your stop loss, of course, but for most of you, I'm assuming it's not at that 2-hour mark. So yeah, just let this one run. No real reason to exit this one. So let's take a look at yesterday's potential setups I identified. So yesterday I was talking a little bit about AUDJPY. We'll go back to the daily. Now I was saying that AUDJPY has stalled out on top of support, and it had yesterday at the time of the analysis. So I was open to a potential short-term long. I know that goes against my AUDUSD short position, but when I say short-term long, I mean a few days while price shoots back up and then drops down, and we just capitalize from price moving back up a little bit. But I also said that, you know, because AUDJPY has clearly started a bearish trend, it has broken the 200 moving average. I wouldn't be surprised if it just smashed straight through this support area eventually. So it ended up smashing through that support area. Now what we're looking for from here would be a pullback to resistance, so we could get in short at a good price on this. Getting in short right now is a bit too risky. I'd rather get in short at a good price, but honestly this has moved down pretty far. So this is an unlikely scenario, but I'm going to leave this as a potential setup, because getting in short from the 79.70 would be pretty good. I'd like to do that if possible. So I'm going to leave this, watch it, and hopefully it pulls back a little bit. Eurojpy. Now we got a very similar scenario on Eurojpy than we did with AUDJPY. except the euro isn't quite as weak right now as the Aussie dollar is. So we haven't had price pushing down yet. So there's a few options here. We could be looking for a long from this support area, but much like AUDJPY yesterday, I'm not crazy about that long because Eurojpy has started to trend down. The Japanese yen is a little bit strong right now. It's broken that 200 moving average, which is a support area. So if anything, I'd rather take a short trade here, but I don't see any valid entry right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to watch Eurojpy, wait and watch, sit on my hands. You know, in my opinion, most of trading is just sitting on your hands and waiting for that opportunity. A lot of people a lot of new traders especially, they really need to be in a trade because they're like, if I want to be a trader, I need to be in a trade. But most of the successful traders I know, unless we're talking about scalping traders, which is different kind of thing, they spend less time in trades than less time in trades than they do out of trades. So more time out of trades than they do in trades, I should say. That makes more sense. So sitting on your hands, let this one form. We'll see how it plays out. Probably next week at this point. Unlikely to see anything this week on that one. Now, USD CAD, I was looking at this yesterday, potential short from resistance. Obviously, we've had that nice USD strength, which has helped us out on the AUD USD position. So that short's just not happening. I'm totally fine with that. That was just a short-term reversal that I was looking at there, and I wasn't really that bothered with it because it had just broken above the 200 moving average. So like I said, I'm not too bothered about this one. I'll just take it off the list for now, in fact. And finally, Gpchf. Gpchf, we're just looking for a long here yesterday, but again, you would have had to drop down to 12 hours, so it's a bit too quick for me. You know, I like to take most of my trades on the daily chart because jumping in on the 12 hour, you tend to get faked out more, and the lower the time frame, the more you get those fake outs. So I prefer to wait for the daily, which is what I was doing here. This turned around a bit too fast for me. It turned around on the 12 hour, and right now it's pulling back. I don't know if anyone's entered this one. I didn't get in this one. I am open to taking a long trade here still. What I don't like taking a reversal trade after you have a move like this, because my concern would be, let me zoom in a little bit. My concern with this kind of stuff would be that price has dropped into support, turned around, failed to go up from here, then it comes back down, then I'm entering long here. Is it just going to get back up to here and fail again? That's my concern with that kind of move there. So looking at this, I'm not that confident, but what gives me an extra little boost of confidence with this one is just that 200 moving average being there. That 200 moving average, it just acts as an area of support. That's all the 200 moving average is to me. It's an area of support, resistance. You can see that price respects it sort of well. You can see price respects the 200 moving average pretty well. Obviously, there are going to be times like any area of support resistance where it smashes straight through it, but a lot of times it will respect it and it will treat it as support or resistance. So here we have a combination of a horizontal support area and that 200 moving average, and that makes this area quite tough to break on Gpchf. So I'm still open to taking a long here despite it being a little bit more risky because of the failed one yesterday, the failed bounce. Now, another thing about Gpchf real quick. I've been blathering on a lot today, so I'll try to make this quick. This doesn't necessarily mean that the move has failed, the bullish move. It could easily just be moving down for now, and then later on today it will just push up and close like this. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying it's totally possible. You have a nice long wick down there, but a bullish candle overall. So right now it looks as if this bullish move from yesterday has failed and it's retracing, but could totally go up from here. And then we'd look at it and say, oh, that bullish move hasn't failed. This could be a temporary pullback. Again, just going to wait and watch Gpchf, see what happens. My general approach to Thursdays is just wait and watch for next week. AUD CAD popped down to support. I'll keep an eye on this one just for a break of this support area. Pullback, short trade potentially here. Maybe even a breakout trade. Probably leave this one until Monday too. I'm loving this AUD weakness. That's finally happening. What's this? I don't know why I have this here. Need to redraw some support resistance. Righto guys, I'm not really seeing much. I'm going to have another quick scan of the charts. Now, I'll add a AUDCHF up here for a potential short. I know I'm going through them quick, but I'm not seeing anything right now, so I'm not stopping on any of these. If I don't see anything that I want to trade, there's no reason for me to stop and talk about that pair. So let's do a quick summary. AUD CAD, there's a few potential moves here. The first potential obvious move is hopping in long for a small pullback. I don't really like those kinds of trades. In a market that's trending like this, I'd be going against that weak Aussie dollar. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm open to it if it's just a short-term quick reversal. I'm open to it, but I'd prefer to get in on some short continuations like that. So price breaks the support area, pulls back to it, then I hop in short. That would be much better. So that's the case for AUD CAD, AUDJPY, and AUDCHF. Looking for potential short continuations, open to a long reversal, but that's a very short-term trade, a day or two, just enter on a quick pullback. I'm open to it, but I'm probably not going to do it. The short would be the move on these ones, in my opinion. We just need to wait for a break of support, a pullback. AUDJPY has broken support, so here we're just looking for that pullback. For AUD CAD, we need to see a break of support, then a pullback. And for AUDCHF, we need to see a break of support and then a pullback. Now, onto Eurojpy, it's a very similar scenario. I would prefer to get a break of support, a pullback, and then enter in short from there. And finally, Gpchf, we're just waiting to see how price forms on this support area. Waiting to see how today's candle closes. So all of today's setups, just gonna be leaving them for the rest of this week and coming back to them on Monday. Really, I don't see myself getting into any other trades this week. It's been a good week for me. I've been able to break my losing streak. I was in a short losing streak. When I say short, it was a few weeks. So finally got out my losing streak. Quite happy with that. And we'll see how all these trades play out that I've talked about today. So thank you very much for watching today's analysis, and I'll see you for next week's analysis. And to all you members, I'll see you in the chat room, of course. Thanks, and bye.